Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vertical Reach podcast. This is where storytelling meets strategy. I'm Pauline Gray, and each week I sit down with the creators, innovators, and voices shaping the world of vertical storytelling. Let's tell stories that connect. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Vertical Reach podcast. As we know, the vertical reach is that moment you extend upward physically, professionally, or emotionally when you have that desire to meet what exists above where you're standing and staying right now. And that same level of that plateau is no longer comfortable and maybe not even a level plateau. The vertical reach is about rising to meet what's higher with your body, your mind, your work, and your ambition. This podcast is about people who didn't just pivot their careers, they changed altitude. This season focuses on filmmakers and creators entering this brave new vertical microdrama space, not only as part of a large integration or reinvention, either of their skill set, integrating new skills, or reinvention of their career, or the path of the film industry. So my goal is not to document some sort of polished hindsight or how-to manual. It's about real-time transitions, light bulb moments, and where we're going to go for our next swipe up, as it were. And today on the guest chair, we have multi-hyphenate, director, producer, visual storyteller. May I also say cinematographer?
I was DP in the past, and I was camera operator for many years in reality TV. Yeah.
Amazing. So you have Scott de Lalla.
Yeah. Hey guys. Thank
Hey.
you so much for having me.
Amazing.
It's great.
Scott is a director and producer specializing in vertical short form storytelling. His recent projects spread across Flare Flow, Drama Wave, Short Max, Shot Short, and My Drama. He's very hands-on, sure, coming from his cinematography background. He handles the entire production pipeline from prep through shoot, design to post-production. His signature workflow brings efficiency, clarity, and precision to his fast-growing vertical format. He has over 16 years in entertainment. Scott's known for his bold, character-driven storytelling, very hands-on auteur approach. So we're talking auteur, we're talking writer, director, vertically integrated creativity. His work includes Chopper Town, now a global brand, Viking Builder on Prime, the Super 8 horror thriller I Am Zozo. His work has reached millions across YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. And with that sort of preamble, I'll let Scott kind of dive in and describe himself and how he reinvented and keeps reinventing himself. Thank you, Scott. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a great intro. I started my career with my good friend, and we started filming documentaries, which I felt back then, there's a lot of gatekeepers in this industry. And obviously, I wish we can have had our script greenlit, but we're like, what's the easiest thing to do? Well, let's grab a camera. We have an idea. Let's film a documentary. And so our first one was Chopper Town, the one you mentioned. It was just about the backyard motor. It was a small niche market. It was the biker group, but 3% of the world rides motorcycles, but only 1% are these backyard chopper builders. And we focused on this really, really tiny niche group, and we hit it off. We filmed a group that was very charismatic and really interesting. And so Chopper Town broke out and reached these audiences in this small niche market around the world. And from there, with that success, we kept making documentaries similar to Chopper Town. But of course, I love feature films, and that's where my dreams were. And that's when I made I Am Zozo, a horror film, shot on Super 8. I shot it, directed it, wrote it. My buddy produced it. He did the editing, and just real indie project, really fun. It got distributed, which is amazing. It was like, shot on Super 8. It took 2 years to have a company buy it, but it got out there. And to make a long story short, just kept evolving as time went on. I shot most of my stuff, so I was hired as a camera operator and was in reality TV for a handful of years, which was fun. It was interesting. And then COVID hit, and, we all know that story. Anyway, a couple of years ago in 2024, 2024. Yeah. My buddy Danny contacted me and he needed help with this company he was a silent partner in. And he was trying to explain verticals. He couldn't. He was just like, they're shorts, they're for TikTok, they're this way. I'm like, okay, whatever you need help, I'm here. He sent me some samples of verticals, and I was just like, wait, what? What? And I ran into the most popular one. I forgot billionaire something at the time. It was on YouTube, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like, well, this looks ridiculous. But I read the comments, and the comments were like freaking out. Oh my God, I can't wait to see this, or this was amazing. And I'm like, what am I missing? And I said, Danny, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Let's go. And he sent me the script and I'm like, Danny, this is 100 pages. This is not a short. He goes, no, they take the script, they break it up into episodes. And yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I was hired as a producer. So I'm like, well, when are we shooting? In 2 months? He goes, no, in 3 weeks. I'm like, damn, how can
On
we
your
shoot
flip one.
this? Yeah, how can we shoot this? There's a fencing tournament. There's werewolves. There's airplane crashes. I don't know. It was crazy. I'm like, there's 25 locations. He's like, don't worry. I got this guy who worked on the first one with me. He's the line producer. He'll show you the ropes and how to condense things. And, he did. He sent me someone and together I sort of started learning the ropes. And I come from more of a creative background and I love directing. To be honest, when I started producing these, I looked at it and I was just like, man, I'm glad I'm not directing it. I have no interest in directing 15, 20 pages a day. I mean, this is like crazy. And it moved so fast and things were different. The blocking's different, just everything. The workflow was different. But in my heart, I'm a director and I'm like, I want to direct. And so 6 months later, I got my chance to direct my first one. And yeah, it was crazy. It was just what I thought it would be. I was a co-director on that one. But I realized when I walked away, I'm like, I have a lot to learn. I have to get better at viewing this as a completely different animal, completely different medium. It has its own language. The frame, I have to think in vertical. I have to block for vertical. I have to block for the speed of vertical. I have to be extremely prepared before I step on set for the first day, because anytime I can save myself a little bit of wiggle room for the creativity, that's a plus. But when you go there and you're not prepared and you're trying to set up your scenes and blocking your scenes and imagining your scenes on the day of, whew, I can't explain the feeling. It's crazy. And this is me personally. I don't know how other directors do it, but
Scott, I mean, I'm amazed. I mean, I'm not sure if we had a chance to connect before, but I've been supporting my writing habit by script revising most of my career. So the script reviser, 8 pages is a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot,
And thank you to all the scripties out there. They make my life so much easier. But go ahead.
Yeah. And I was in a conversation kind of off the cuff with someone else the other day. I said, what I'm really curious, as I kind of said, talk me through the physical day as a director on the set of a vertical. When I get to work, I pull up, get my burrito, read the storyboards, and kind of relax and kind of, and he said, if we had the same commercial production mindset where it's an hour and a half to the first shot, we'd be sunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
With it, it's about the pre-call for the talent, pre-call for makeup hair. So first shot is the very first shot at the crack of dawn. There's no kind of rehearsing, warming up, kind of easing into it kind of culture. It's very much load your gun and go.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you, how did you find yourself, I guess, kind of nimbling that way through? What were your sort of tips and tricks and
I have to really be honest with myself, and I know my strengths and weaknesses. I'm a visual guy, so if I write out a storyboard, it's less effective versus if I create my own camera plots or blocking visually, with seeing the little tiny camera. I mean, they're like little circles for people. and little cameras and stuff. So I do a storyboard for myself. The first thing I do, I read the script, of course. I break it down with scriptation, which has been amazing for me. Gives me the chance to really highlight stuff and break it down in a way that's extremely visual and easy for me on the day to flip through stuff.
You
Not
can get
like
your props in purple, your
yeah,
character below, you can just
exactly.
Swords.
It's super, super visual. And it's like that is like a big win for me. If it was just a script, like a paper, it would be a mess. I mean, it's just pages. And I mean, you could be organized with the script. They've done it for years, but with technology and scriptation, with all these bells and whistles, I can't go back. So that's the first thing. And then I'll do a presentation like a director's lookbook. And that helps not only for me to express how I see everything, but it also conveys my thoughts and my vision to the key people, all the departments. We have the art department, the DP, they just get a feeling of what to expect. The hair, I mean, I'm not going to go too much in detail with hair and makeup, but just the way and of course, client has to sign off. And when I worked with Ammo, I had a creative producer, and it helped a lot because together we signed off on things, and so client was very happy before things were presented to the crew, to the team. So that was a big thing. And then creating a storyboard, but the visual storyboard that I was talking about, I block everything beforehand. The only thing that would change is my DP that I use often. He's really good. He'll take my blocking and then he'll adjust it a little bit because maybe I'm blocking and it's not good for the lighting, the natural light that's coming. So he'll make some
the windows here, that's like coming in here.
Yeah. He'll just adjust things here and there, which is great. And we work as a great team. But I'm always thinking
telepathic shorthand going and
yeah. And it makes things so much easier. And we can adjust these micro, because when we're scouting, we only have 25 minutes to scout. There's no director scout. There's no tech scout. You're literally just going, you're seeing the room, you're taking quick photos, and you're off to the other location. So things on verticals, things do have to happen on the spot. They have to. You can't be completely prepared like a regular, traditional feature where you have a couple of days maybe scouting and it's 3 or 4 pages a day. So I got better at all of that. And blocking, when I block, I try to make the frame interesting, and I try to limit my camera move, my camera stack and key light, all that, all that stuff. I limit their movements. I'm very aware of, hey, we have to, if we're blocking this way, we're going to have to cross and cross and cross. So we usually will stack, and it might be not that exciting, but it works in vertical and it works in, the pace we need to go. It's a win-win. So we stack them and then we limit like if we have someone talking, sitting here, they're on this plane and that plane, like a square, all those to get the coverage, there's lots and lots of movement. So I'll put them on like a half moon, or a taco, like a position where we're kind of shooting more on 45-degree angles and not, you're going to have to do a flip, but it's not going to be multiple flips.
So more like, you're not talking like, so there's no 6-foot dolly track. There's like a little, like a rotating little, like a Weaver Stedman or like a kind of like something nimble.
Yeah, well, sometimes we'll have a dolly, which we do bring out, to reveal things and to make the production value look better. But we just try to pick and choose our battles, and when to use stuff to make things look better. But yeah, for an example, there was a scene where the woman came to her man's home and he secretly had another girl there and she surprised him. So she knocked on the door and, inside they're like, we don't see that. But his friend hides in a closet and she comes and she sees like there's dinner set for 2 and he lies and he's like, oh, this is for us. Anyway, she believes him for a second. She sits down at the table, but the other woman, she's in the closet, half naked, and she's kind of peeking out of the closet. So I was thinking, well, okay, I don't want the closet to be on the other side of the room because we have to get that camera stack and move to that side of the room and light it, get her reactions and, connect it.
And like a 40 mil, you want to
Yeah, so I'll take a lot of time. So what I thought of, let's take the table and move it wherever a closet is, give me a door and I'll make it a closet. So we positioned it near a bedroom door, and which didn't have a door, so we had to put something there. But the table was right there, and in the background there's the door. So now this is great for a vertical frame, because I think of filling a vertical frame in a way that's interesting. And when I think of triangles, so like we have one person here in the foreground, and in the background, a little higher up on the frame, we have the woman peeking out of the closet. And
leaning
so,
over.
like in the closet and peeking out. So that's in the center. So the two people are eating, and in the center of the frame, in the background, which is causing tension and everything, she's peeking out. So now I can have that entire scene with the camera stack facing in one direction and getting this. And that saves a
One
lot.
way. Boom.
Yeah, so that's stuff that I try to think of and got better at. If the client allows me to make those changes, I'll do them. I'll look through the script really quick. Like, for instance, they're eating at a dining room table. The couple gets into an argument. She stands up, goes into the hallway. And I'm thinking, let's not go into the hallway if it's not necessary. She gets up. She's about to go in the hallway. He stops her, right? Because let's stop her in the the same camera setup. If she enters the hallway, then we have to take our camera stack and shoot our scene in the hallway.
You gotta light the hallway.
You have to light the hallway. It takes another, 20, 30 minutes, So it's those things where, okay, if she's entering the hallway and there's something there that's important to the scene or the story, we have to go to the hallway, without a doubt.
But if it's not,
yeah, if it's just them arguing and it was only 2 lines, I'm like, let's keep them here. Yeah, let's keep them here. They're not moving. We're doing 15 pages. I'm like, we're not moving. Because I have the producer just, on my back.
So let me ask you this. In the context of what you're also learning on set with the sort of like camera stacking and maximizing your day, and then in the greater context, sort of the macro level of the industry overall, when you hear the term pivot or perish, what does that bring to mind for you?
I mean, either go with the changes or fall behind, right? I mean, either adapt, right? Go with the flow, adapt, better yourself, or, you miss the bus, you walk in, or I don't know, like perish. Like you're gonna, when I think of technology and verticals, and there's 2 camps. One camp is rolling their eyes. This is not cinema. They don't look at it as an art form. They don't look at it as, a vessel to tell stories. And if they don't open up to that, they're going to just, I feel like, fall behind.
I agree. So what do you think from both macro and micro surprised you most about vertical storytelling?
Well, it's what surprises me most, and to be honest, I mean, it works when you dissect it, you take it apart. It's not, it looks like a regular screenplay, but it's not. I mean, you have to learn another language, another format. I mean, it's got 3-part acts, or 3, things that need to happen in each 1 minute, minute and a half episode. You need to grab someone, there's some action, and then there's a cliffhanger. And that must happen. You know what? And it works. I'm sitting there on my phone when I was doing research on random verticals that were known to be good, and I'm hooked. Like I'm swiping. And like for real, like I really want to know. I mean, it works. And here's something that is interesting about verticals is that it definitely falls in place with, if we look historically at storytelling, right? I mean, it started around the campfire. People are telling with the voice. It's on radio, it's on podcasts and theater, it's in cinema.
And the round in Greece, and yeah.
Right. And you have verticals. But why is vertical microdramas different than all of them, right? The similarities, it's a vessel to tell a story, but what makes it different, right? The other ones, all of the other ones, even if you're sitting around a fire, you're in a cinema, your attention is assumed, right? If you go to a movie, you're going to not leave the movie, right? If you're going to sit around fire and listen to a story, even if it's a bad story, you're not going to get up and leave.
Not getting up.
Right? Right. But a vertical, that attention is earned. You have to earn each episode, not even each episode, each minute, right? For the person to sit there and watch and swipe. You have to earn it, each
Yeah.
one. And so that's what makes it really hard. Yeah, in the writing, it makes it hard. In directing, in cinematography, everything.
It's
And
so
that's
true. Because it's not like you could say, okay, I don't like this fire pit. I'm gonna go to the other fire pit.
yeah, exactly. But
I don't-
also, but you'll stay at that fire pit until the story, because it might be rude to, get up in front of them,
yeah.
And just the way stories are told. If you watch a Netflix movie, and of course, because we stream and we tend to we may shut it off and jump to another one, but you do hold on longer than you would imagine, hoping it gets better. You're sitting there watching, like, where in verticals, you're not. The second it lost your attention, you're off to another one, or you're putting your phone down. You're not just sitting and waiting.
Yeah,
So it's
true thing
very,
with my Netflix and any of my streaming material, I actually think I've never stopped watching a show on a streamer because I wasn't enjoying it. It was usually because I had to do something else
yeah,
or be somewhere or go to
yeah,
sleep finally.
yeah, yeah.
Just go get some sleep. Death with verticals though, you lose interest
Fast.
or you keep interest. It's a very pure response. In fact, I was at the vertical market last year, and one of the speakers said, as filmmakers, what verticals do is they flip, pardon the pun, the script. The sense that for up until now, the artist determined the audience's taste.
Right. Yeah.
Audience did the work, like it or not. This here is good stuff. If you don't like it, it's because you have bad taste. Whereas now, the
Yeah.
data,
Yeah.
as a shift. So instead of the artist working for a production company, the artist is working for a tech company. And the tech company says this data gives immediate feedback as to whether your art is of a good quality.
Yeah. You're right.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
It's
wouldn't you
very,
say so many things, right, have flipped,
yeah.
and it's almost like a 180 the way we look at stuff. And you're right. I mean, also, we're really studying what the audience wants and trying to give them what they want, right? I mean, that's what makes the business side, I think, of verticals work. We're looking at the data. We're saying, okay, this doesn't work and this worked, and why? But for me,
For this long.
yeah, or for this long, for me, something I feel is interesting is happening right now. I mean, things have slowed a little bit with live action because of AI. It's a whole nother conversation. But what is interesting,
Go there. You can go there. Yeah.
no, yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting is there's a few bubbles that are going to burst, and I think not microdramas in general, but the tropes, and the common themes that we're seeing, it is saturated. It's happening it's over, it's copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So right now, at this moment, I feel things are shifting for the better. And I think premium products will start surfacing, better stuff, better stories, more originality, different genres, reaching different audiences, creating new audiences, not only looking at how to feed the audiences that are there. I think people and companies that are surfacing are wanting to create a new audience for micro, because we believe in micro people. Everyone has a phone. We believe in content on a phone is definitely working, right? Retention, like how to keep people sitting there watching something, but it's going to not switch. I think it's going to broaden, and we'll have sky's the limit. It could be horror films. It could be reality TV. Could be, but taking some of the DNA that worked with the original verticals, right, and microdramas, taking that and just placing. And there's camps that don't believe that will work. They just think, the billionaire meets the woman, slaps. The female protagonist has no choice in the matter. She just you know,
Pro.
forcefully directed. Yeah. Black and brown audiences. And that's what I'm getting into now is reaching communities and voices that haven't really been reached or focused on at all. To me, that's where I see things are going, because AI is definitely taking over a portion of it, which is, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm into technology and things change. Digital replaces film and things happen in life. You have to kind of roll with it.
Move on. Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious about like the Spanish speaking market, whatever terminology you use, because, you know, growing up in Brooklyn and living
Yeah.
in LA, you know, also being an immigrant from the Caribbean, you know, I could go days not hear English.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's amazing.
I mean, it's funny. I have some really long-standing European clients because I used to be a pitch writer for commercial directors. I still am
Yeah.
kind of.
That's so cool.
And the first time one of my clients came to America, he's German. He goes, "Why does my grandmother speak better English than the cab driver?" It's where we're going.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
We're the
so
melting pot.
yeah, as I said, you have to realize America is the only place where no one speaks English.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm still learning.
And so, but yeah, I just look at platforms where you have all of South America, where my family's from. You have all of Spain. There's so much of the world where it's Spanish.
Huge,
I mean,
huge, huge
bodega.
market.
I mean, you could it could be like anything from La Palacio in Valencia to like bodega from Puerto Rico. I mean, there's just that language is so permeated. And
That's what I'm into. Underserved markets. It's, yeah, like Spanish speaking. It's huge, gigantic. Africa, Nigeria.
so amazing. I mean, I went to Content London last November, December.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And which
Pretty,
is an amazing,
yeah.
thing. It's the part about writers, you touched on earlier. For most of my life as a writer, I had heard about these things called parties. And I'd be like, oh, a party. So like people go there and spend time together and discuss their creative interests. And I was like, how can I go to a party? Why do I, what does it take to get, I mean, of course, you're not hearing where the party is,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, I go to Content London as part of my vertical immersion. And Scott, all of a sudden, as a writer, the party was in my honor.
Right, right. Oh my God.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, wait. In fact, Vertical Drama Love, Jen Cooper?
Of course. Yeah.
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 Well, Jen is my girl, and I think I first interacted with her in America. She's been the first guest on the show. And then I text her, like, hey, I'm going to Content London. Are you going to be in London? She lives outside of London, She goes, Pauline, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm hosting a party the first night. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? A party?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I go to her party and I'm like, I'm at a party and I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah. Here I am. This is what it's all about. Yeah.
yeah. So then at the party, and people are like, are you a writer? And like corny men, like drunken sailors, like in the room, and I was like, okay, so the other half lives, But yeah, so I definitely feel like this exciting time, I mean, I've been asked for everything, I'm having a meeting with someone about the Spanish language market. I've been pitching African American female in Jeopardy, African American, I mean, all these things. I'm like, so wait, I've waited my whole life for this moment.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Microdramas has opened up doors for so many of us, right? That are sitting around waiting for the gatekeepers to say, okay, yes. Well, what I love about it is just like it brought the creative world together, and you have parties like that in London or groups on WhatsApp and, Dana having her events and you have podcasts. Yeah. I mean, it's an endless amount of, networking and connecting and this good feeling of, here we're working in the craft thing we love to do. And it's hard. It's hard. Even though this is still challenging, before microdramas, it's definitely not as accessible. And microdramas need so much content, right?
Mhm.
And even an AI filmmaker, the greatest thing about AI is that there's these creatives around the world that was just hiding in a cave, not literally, but, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
just,
yeah, kind of, yeah.
they could be, yeah, and they're creating incredible stuff. Like it's spilling out into their keyboard and into the world, with the correct prompts and direction with AI. And a lot of these artists, they wouldn't have the means to do that because a lot of these programs are expensive and not easy to learn, what have you, right? But it's just the floodgates have opened, for creatives to come together. But things are moving fast. There's ups and downs, and all of us are trying to navigate through it. So there's pros and cons, but I'm an optimistic person and I always see a glass half full. So I think we're all going in the right direction.
Okay, Scott. So we're going to kind of wind down a bit. I'm going to ask you for what I call the permission slip moment.
Hmm.
And I fundamentally believe that we as creative people, as artists, we ourselves don't have a comfort zone.
That's true.
We do, however, often feel concerned about making other people uncomfortable if we change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, I have many friends who are like, even my parents are like, I've been doing this for a long time, but they're like, so wait, you don't have a job again? So wait, that job ended. Now you don't have a job. It's
yeah.
another.
I
What are
know.
you? They still can't process what that means. Yeah.
Yeah, especially right the freelancer world. It's
Yeah.
my
So
mom's
it's
like, "You'll make it one day." And I have lots of great things I've done already.
good, mom. Good. I'm working, mom. I'm working. That
Yeah,
alone,
yeah,
I think the rest of us doesn't realize the threshold of I'm working is success. For
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's success. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
so ask you this. So if someone's out there kind of either maybe they're like, I don't know, either sitting at home with their own iPhone thinking, I could do that. Or they're sitting at home, maybe they're a second AC, a second camera assistant, and they're thinking, God, I mean, I want to be in this business, but God, the rent, God, how am I gonna, I mean, it's just gotten so slow. And what would you say to them to say, the vertical world is here or your other pivot is available? Either take a leap or put your toe in the water. Give them the Lalla permission slip moment. Sign off on it, please.
yeah. I'll go back a long time ago when I wanted to. I always wanted to be in this industry, but a long time ago, I read this book, and to be honest, I couldn't tell you verbatim what was in the book specifically, but the first 2 pages will sum all of this up. And the first 2 pages were first page, literally the guy's like, okay, if you don't like disappointment or poverty or being bullied or being kicked or blah, blah, and he went into 50 different negative things, then close the book and do something else with your life.
I love it.
And I was like, no, I love this stuff. And I'm going to page 3. So my thing is, you definitely have to really, really want it. Like the movie Rudy, right? In Rudy, he's 5'7", no athletic experience, and has a learning disability, but wanted to go to the best college and play for the best football team, right? You just have to want it. And then if you really decide you really want it, everything's there for us, more so than in the past. We have a camera on our phone, we have LinkedIn, we have social media, we have it all. On the con to that is that a lot of people also have that. And so there's a lot of people, way more people you're competing outright with tons and tons of other people. First thing is you have to really want it because it is a sacrifice. It is, those hard days are hard. And if you want it, there are means and ways to do it.
Yeah, I always say to people in the industry who think somehow it's easier for someone else,
Yeah.
I say, you know what? The sun sets on Spielberg too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he has more weather days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I still set on him too. I mean,
Yeah.
his 12 hours and my 12 hours are the exact same.
Exact same. He
Yeah.
sneezes, he gets colds, and
Yeah, he might get You get him worse. He might be on the beaches of Normandy,
Yeah.
in the water. He's gonna catch a cold, But so let me ask you this, Scott. What is your next swipe up?
I'm pivoting a little bit, still in this. I was going to say genre, still in the microdrama vertical world. With ways to springboard into horizontal and all that greatness. But I have a partner now, and we're building a company called Paintbox Shorts. And Paintbox Shorts is multifaceted. It's hard to get into all of it, but what we're doing is Paintbox Shorts is going to be a platform, but we're going to partner with a bigger platform. But where our focus is going after these Black and brown voices and different cultures, and just bringing culture into vertical. And we feel that's an area that's very much underserved, and we want to bring it up to the surface. And so my partner comes from marketing background with brands and advertising, and he brings a lot to the table, and I bring the vertical experience to the table and my expertise there. And so so that's where I'm pivoting towards.
Count me in. I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. On the side, we'll definitely talk.
I'm a diverse immigrant.
Yeah, that's exactly who we're looking for. Yeah,
immigrant screenwriter.
Yeah.
Ice is actually outside the door. I'm trying to hide.
Yeah. Lock your door. But yeah, we have an AI component. So we're sort of like encompassing everything, brands, AI, live action, as much as we can. We're putting under this umbrella. And then, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to give it my best shot and just search for good stories and reaching new audiences.
I have 1,000% confidence and pure excitement. This is going to be so amazing. I'm so ready.
Thank you so much.
So great.
Not going to be easy, but we're going to do it.
You know what? If it was easy, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
There actually is no easy. In fact, the hardest thing is just being unhappy.
That's true.
That's the absolute hardest thing, is to be unhappy. Anyway, so I'm Buddhist. I'm actually philosophical.
No, I love that. That's cool.
But so I will wrap up to my.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Great
amazing.
time, Pauline.
Watch track for Paintbox Shorts. And once again, this is the Vertical Reach. And to my audience, whether you're building something new or becoming something new, keep swiping up. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Vertical Reach podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If it sparked something for you, please share it with a fellow storyteller. Until next time, let's tell stories that connect.